Okay. All right. So here we are. We're streaming live tonight, and I have a little explanation about the live in just a moment, but just welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is me and Susan Lynn doing PoliTarology, and we are live streaming on both of our channels. And you know what, Susan? I think it's a good thing we're live streaming on both our channels because I think my little screw up with the post means I don't see anybody in the chat yet.
I
They
know,
might
right? I know.
they might be on, let me go to I think I can go to my YouTube. I have it muted. No, that's the old one. Why
Yeah.
does I don't know. I'm trying to find on my channel because I'm determined to get this live stream. There we go. There's that. And let me make it big and let me look at there we go. Now I can see the chat over there.
Okay, people are coming
Okay.
in.
Yeah. And I'll just keep that muted. Very good. There we go. Hello, Secondhand News with Jill, Deb B. Kane, Beth Mullen, Janet P., Renee, Miss Charlotte, Teresa Ford, Maura, blah, 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 blah. Okay, everybody, I can't keep up with it. It's great.
Good to see you guys. So you might be seeing this on my channel, or you might be seeing this on Colleen's channel. The software that we use has a new feature that allows Colleen, who's really the host. Colleen is the one who's hosting me on her channel, but now we can simulcast. And so it's great because my viewers get to come on and see this live, even though I'm on Colleen's channel. So thank you. And if you are here from my channel, please check out Colleen's channel and consider subscribing because she really does some amazing political, accurate predictions. We did this a couple of weeks ago and we were just chatting and we had the best time together. And I was like, let's do this again. So it's just fun to chat politics, right? So here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And that chat, though, I got to tell you, I think that chat was led by some higher beings because I don't know, some of the things that was coming out of my mouth, I was like, wait, do I really think that? What? So that was fun for me.
Channeling.
Yeah, that was fun for me. One fun for
you
me.
guys can find that video on Colleen the Cool Crone on her channel.
Yep.
It's about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was earlier this month, basically. It was
A
just
lot has
earlier this
happened.
month. Yeah, really, a lot has happened. This whole month of March has just been wacky. I'm just trying to bring up
I
my
know.
questions
Anastasia,
here.
there was a mix up with the time. The
Yes.
post did say 9 p.m. Eastern time, so we're sorry about that. We're just kind of lucky to be here, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry if you guys are watching this after the live, and please don't
Yeah.
get upset with us about the typo. We're human.
Yeah.
And oh, hey, everybody. Good to see you guys, Kevin and Kim and everybody. I also wanted to say, yes, Colleen does see the chat. The way this works is all of you guys are in the same chat for us. Maybe not for you, but for us, because we're on the same back end of the video kind of dashboard. We're seeing the whole chat. It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
We'll see if you guys like it or not. I did it with Allie yesterday, and we didn't explain it well enough, and people were like, basically, like, "What the heck just happened?" So, so let us know if you guys like this or it is confusing. Yes, okay. So you're going to see other people do this because it's just a nice way for both channels to have participate in the live. But you let us know
Yeah.
what you like. We're talking
Yeah.
about politics, people. Politics.
Mhm. Mhm. Curious how this works for the chats. I clicked on Colleen's chat, but it stopped after a handful of chats. It's all happening on Susan's chat. Oh, that's interesting. Melissa Miller. That's
It
interesting.
depends on the number of people in the chat. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I happen to just have a little bit bigger channel, so there might be more
mhm.
people in my chat, and my people are like political like fiends. You guys are always up to learn more about the politics, and Colleen's are too. You guys really need to check out her channel. She's got a great channel.
Thank you. Thanks
This
very
is
much.
on StreamYard, yes. We're using StreamYard on the back end, yes, you guys. You guys are just seeing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. And we might have someone join us. Her name is Cleo. We're junkies, I know, Prairie. I'm telling you, Colleen and Cleo and I, we just sat and talked
Riff.
politics for a
We
long
just
time. And it was
Yes,
a lot of fun. So
it
I'm,
was a
I'm
lot of fun.
hoping that it's going to be the same thing. Just chill. We're going to just talk politics, but we're not going to be like trying to break our necks to answer every question because we just want to kind of see where it leads us. That's what Colleen was talking about. It's kind of like spirit got involved and was like, guiding us.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, I did like maybe 3 cards, and after a while, I was just like, "Oh, screw this. I'm just gonna talk." Because it was just not, the cards were too late. We were already on to, 14 other topics, so it was just kinda silly to try to go back, so I
Yeah.
just said, "Screw that up." So I did put together a few, questions to get us started. And the first one, I think I'm gonna come back to that. Let's see. Let me see what we are
And you
all
guys can put questions in the chat too.
okay.
Now, the
Ah,
thing I found out was I can't star the one of the things I can't do as a co-host is I can't bring the questions in myself.
oh, okay. Can you actually click the star though?
I can't.
Oh,
I can't.
interesting.
And you could make me a co-host somehow, but we'll do that later.
I
Let's
thought
get busy.
I thought I did that before we even did the thing. No, that was the stream thing.
That was the other thing.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
it's
Let me see
okay.
if I
It's
can do it
okay. We'll
here.
we'll while you're doing that,
Okay.
I will
Okay.
look
All
at the
right.
chat.
I'm just gonna check out the chat because I think my questions, even though I put them together 3 days ago, I think they're old already.
I know. That's right. That's how things are going.
Okay.
And
All
it's
right. So
good.
here's
The
one.
energy is
Here's a good
moving.
one. Let's see if we can put this one up. So what's going on with the grand jury foreman in Georgia? Is she already regretting doing those interviews? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's see what's going on with her. Does anybody remember her name? I think it was Christy something or Christine.
Wow. I can't remember anybody's name. Half the time I can't remember my own. I don't think she regrets it. As a matter of fact, the guides are reminding me that I saw other jurors came forward. As a matter of fact, I did it's included in one of my videos. Remember the guy? Did you see that, Colleen? The guy that came forward and says, "All I know is after this is said and done, America will not be divided anymore."
Yeah, I heard it. I wasn't really watching the video, but I heard like 3 different videos where people were quoting that because the point is that as this stuff comes out, yeah, if you believe what you're hearing in some of the news about the revelations, not necessarily everything in the news, but if you understand what's being revealed, it's devastating. It's not good for our country. It's not good. I mean, no bueno. The Monsieur Larange is bad, bad, bad for the country. He is
Yeah.
bad. So, but is she regretting doing the interviews?
What do you think?
I think no. I think she enjoyed her little 15 minutes of fame. I think she thought that was really cool. I mean, her attitude was actually kind of sweet, wasn't it? I mean, she was just like a little
She was kind of
she was
naive, maybe.
yeah, yeah, she was kind of naive. But she was sweet. She didn't mean any harm at all.
Yeah,
In fact,
I
she
agree.
meant she meant to give us a warning,
Yeah,
that there's going to be a lot coming out from this. So even though she didn't say what the later person did, that boy, if you heard all this stuff, you'd know that he
yeah,
really could be
sure.
behind bars. I thought she kept her cards close to her vest as best she could. I think that it's just amazing that she was fangirling on, who was it? Giuliani. That's wild that she was like, just wanted to
Right.
shake his hand, things like that. So no, I don't think she regrets it at all because I don't think she's swimming in the pool where she sees herself as being a part of the bigger picture. I think she was just bringing this from her very personal experience of having been the foreperson on this very, very important jury. So I don't think she regrets it at all.
So some rock star says, I think some people were concerned she was a secret Trumper trying to sabotage the investigation. Well, if she wanted to sabotage it, she could have, but she stayed right in the narrow lane. Georgia has very
Mhm,
different rules, apparently, about a lot of things. They have great RICO
mhm,
laws that majority of
mhm.
states don't have. And they have very specific rules about what jurors can say and not say. And I think it might be a little bit wider than other states, and she stayed in her lane. She could have sabotaged it. Sure, she could
Yeah,
have done that, but she didn't. I don't know. To me, she was a little bit odd, but that's just me. Um, yeah, I thought she was a little bit odd, but what? Who knows? Um, but I don't think she regrets it. And I don't think we regret it, because I like the fact that these other jurors came out and said, uh, this is incredible. What you're going to find out that we know already is going to change everything. And that made me feel better. Personally, that made me
yeah,
feel
absolutely. Yeah. We had one person, I just have to show this. This is a hilarious comment. So I hear that flying over the Waco rally, the banner. Yeah,
I would
he
have
should.
chipped in for the gas money for that plane. I would have chipped in.
Right? I would have too. So that brings up a good question, I think. How is that? I know the people in Waco are really upset. They're not loving the Trump. They're not loving that he came there at all. But I mean, the way I see this, he has like a very narrow window of time in which to do anything to put things out in the public, because I think very quickly someone's going to put a gag on or order on that man.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say, "You got to stop it. You got to shut it. You got to block that pie hole, because we cannot have you making these dangerous statements out in the public." So in this teeny tiny little window of time that he has to be all crazy, what do we think the Waco appearance, what kind of an impact is that gonna have on his people, on the MAGA people? Are they gonna be excited or upset or whatever?
See, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's pretty much, it's like Spirit is showing me fireworks that don't go off. We call them duds, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
now I think the Waco thing was specifically a message for a certain type of MAGA supporter, and one that would be more of a militia minded or potentially even violent. He was hoping, in my opinion, the guide's opinion, he was talking to those people. He wasn't talking to his, if he was talking to his fan base, he probably could have just done a rally in Florida, right? But
Yeah,
Waco is wow, how much portent, how much energy is behind just that name. So he was talking to those people, and I don't think they're listening as much as he thinks they are either. So I think he's going to start, like you're saying, he's got this window of opportunity, and he's starting to find out that he keeps pushing the button to get a reaction, and there's no reaction. It's a dud. It's a dud. It's a dud.
yeah, and the card that I pulled, I got the World. I mean, this is the end. This is the end for him. This is just, I mean, it doesn't even make any sense that he would go to Waco. He's not well, maybe he is a
It's the
cult
Branch
leader.
Davidians. It's the whole thing that the government shot up those people that were holding out. It's meant to, they're selling these shirts that are anti-government. What does it say? Like something against the state. Um, they want to say that the FBI is after everybody. They're trying to change the narrative that the
Yeah,
government is wrong, the government is bad, the government is out. One of those things they say is, Matt Gate, who was it that says that I stand and they get me, so I protect you, right? Like I'm the only thing standing between them and you is me. That's what Trump says. So it's this whole narrative, right, of us against them, except for he's putting the whole United States government as them and citizens as us. I just don't think it's working as well as they. Yeah, I heard they were giving away hunting knives. And they're made in China. But anyway, I don't know.
Oh
I
my
don't.
god. Oh my god. I'm looking in the chat here for oh, thank you, Vivian, and thank you, Sherry, for all your help. Um, but I'm just looking for questions here. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Um, when will Mueller's findings become known? Does Jack Smith have the unredacted report and will he use it? Ooh.
Oh, I'm sure that Jack Smith has the unredacted report. I would assume Jack Smith has access to everything, including anything that would even be top secret. And if he doesn't have it, I think he can get it. I think at this point, the judges understand the importance of this matter. And I mean, like the circuit judges that would maybe be controlling the access to this. But maybe you get something different, Colleen. Will
Pulling a
he's going to
chart.
use everything. Jack Smith is going to use everything. Everything.
Yeah. Jack Smith is definitely going to use the Mueller report because it has to do with all of the charges that were not already leveled against Trump. And I think Jack Smith's going to pull out some of those sealed indictments. I think
Yeah.
those are going to come out into the public via Jack Smith. I think that now they switched the judge, not in Jack Smith's court. I don't know what
Beryl
court she's
Howell.
going to. Yeah, but she's moving out and another person is coming in and that's a male judge.
Right.
But that's in the case. Is that in the case for Jack Smith or is that in the case for
No,
Alvin
that's
Bragg?
that's the I can't keep them all straight. I think that's Alvin Bragg's case. I
Yeah, I
think.
think so too.
Yeah.
So then in that case, I'm going to say that there may be a female judge for Jack Smith, and she is taking no prisoners. She's a feisty person.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah. Yeah.
very, very sure of what she's doing. And I think she is salivating at the idea of getting this case in front of her. I mean, but think of it for lawyers these days. These cases are so juicy. I mean, they're really wrangling with the issues of the Constitution
Yeah.
and versus state laws. I mean, it's just a juicy time to be an attorney. But I do think that the Jack Smith case in particular and all the indictments that he brings down, I think that this is going to bring about the basis of the changes that we need to make to laws in many of the states that are involved and federal laws as well. I think Jack Smith's case with Donald Trump, first of all, I think it will be multi-level. I think he will have so many, because I think he's like, why shouldn't we put in everything in the kitchen
Yes.
sink?
Yes.
Why? What are you afraid of? Is he too sensitive to handle these cases? No, I think we should put them all in. Because remember, he's used to trying war criminals. And I mean, Putin got charged as a war criminal. Isn't Donald Trump just, 6 degrees of separation away from that? I mean,
Yes. Go, girl. Preach it.
so that's what I think. I think Jack Smith is, wow, he's going to bring it. He's going to bring big
He's going to
stuff.
bring it.
Okay, I'm going to hunt for some more stuff here. If you got more, go ahead.
All right. I can't put it on the screen, but I'll tell you what it is if that a lot of people are asking about TikTok. If you see just up a little bit at 5:18, which I don't know what time it is your time, that's
Yeah.
3:18 probably. Kathy Reagan's is asking about TikTok. I don't see a ban, you guys, because here's the thing. It's too big. It's worth too much money. Too many Americans make their livelihood off of TikTok. But I would say this, that it's not a safe app. I'm not saying that China's going to break into your phone and steal your money, but if you work for a sensitive place, and honestly, a sensitive place could even just be the US Postal Service, right? Or it could be a police department or even a school. That's they're collecting this. The guides are telling me in the background of this app, they're collecting information about your whereabouts and what you're doing. And if you're in a sensitive place on Wi-Fi, that's why they told people you can't use TikTok if you're in certain, government positions. You can't have it on your phone. You can go home, use it on your computer. Maybe you
Uh-huh.
have a separate phone, fine. But it really is a problem. So the solution is, I've seen bandied about, and I think this is really the solution, is that a separate software company like Oracle or something is going to offer, and I'm sure when they say offer, they mean we're going to make money off of this, but they're going to somehow separate the back end and keep an eye on it. They're going to be the watchers of that. Now, also, Europe doesn't play. Europe is faster than the United States to ban stuff that they don't think is safe. So China's going to want to work with these people. They would rather have something than nothing. But it leads us into the future of we have to be a little more careful. All of us do. China's not our friend. Russia is not our friend. We need to be more careful about these things. And the guides are reminding me, do you remember this, Colleen? Wasn't there a cell phone company, Huawei or Huawei, HUWEIWEI, something like that?
Mhm.
We banned them. They can't even sell those phones in the United States.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
I have the name right, there's a name of a phone that China makes that's been banned. And the reason is because it had the same spy technology in it. So
Yeah, and
here we
actually,
are.
TikTok was one of the questions that I was gonna ask from my
Oh,
list
great.
too. So, this reader, this was Vicky White, one of my subscribers. She wanted to know, is Zuckerberg behind the big push to expel TikTok?
Oh, who would be, in my opinion, the guides just said, who is a bigger foe to TikTok is YouTube, because YouTube has shorts and YouTube shorts
Yep.
compete directly with TikTok. And YouTube shorts are growing, and now they've given YouTube content creators a way to even monetize shorts, which will make people want to do more shorts. So I think that I personally don't get that Facebook is involved, but what do you get there, Colleen?
No, I don't think he's involved at all, but I think it's an interesting thing, to have him, to have him even come up in our
Ah,
thoughts and our consciousness about
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
think poor Mark Zuckerberg is just having a heck of a time getting everybody to grasp the new name for Facebook.
Meta. Uh,
Yeah,
Prairie Griffin
nobody's
says
using
that
it.
Facebook has shorts, so I just don't see. I don't. I just don't pick up that energy. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
I don't know.
no. But I do think that it is a big concern, and I do think that they will spawn maybe not legislation, but I do think it's gonna be sort of a like a public service announcement arrangement where people are saying, "Here's the things that you shouldn't do when you're doing social media," you know? Like, I think a lot more of those, "And now you know," kinda commercials, about and really aimed towards the kind of information that can be released on TikTok. And I do think that it's sad that so many kids are really on it and just giving up information, but I don't know. It's social media. It's in our culture now, and it is gonna be very hard to claw it back from our culture no matter what the company is. But did you hear any of the, I don't know, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the big chairman of TikTok, who looks like he's about 13 years old, was testifying to Congress, and he was just saying, "No, we don't do any of those things. No, the China government doesn't have any of that stuff. No, they've asked us repeatedly and we've said no." And I'm like, are you asking us to believe that you really are the Boy Scout that you're sitting there pretending to be? Come on. I mean, if the shoe were on the other foot, if there was an American testifying to the heads
That's
of state in China,
yeah,
wouldn't they also be likewise
yeah,
disingenuous? I mean, they would also try to be like, because it's not their government,
yeah.
so, I mean, yes, it's his business and he wants his business to thrive. His business is going to thrive no matter what kind of blockades they put on it, except for outright banning. That would not be good. But he has a point. It's something like 70 million people or something on TikTok. He has a point. It's a part of our culture now.
Connie wants you to take her picture down. She's been up for too long.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back and find it. Uh,
Oh, wait,
sorry,
maybe I can see the stars. Can I star? Let me
can
see.
you?
If you start it, you can find it. Here. Oh,
Oh,
heck, I don't
is
think
there
I
a trick
can.
to that? Did
I
I
can't.
start? I think I started.
You did start it,
There
but
it
I
is. Yes.
can't do
Okay.
anything about it.
Okay, Connie, there you go. Whoops. There you go.
There you go. Sorry about that,
Right,
dear.
I'm very bad at this. I'm just really bad. I did see something else. What's this say? Oh, no, not that. Okay, well, I'll go on to one of these other ones. So, Ruthie H wanted to know if the New Hampshire Republican Governor Chris Sununu is thinking about running for president, how will he do against his fellow nominees if he runs? And I don't know if Sununu is a Democrat or Republican. Maybe I can just find that out really quick.
I don't either, but I heard yes, he's going to run.
Yeah,
Right now, his energy, his thinking right now is yes, I'm going to run. He feels that the field is wide open for him. He must be running it either as a Republican or an independent.
yeah.
Is he
He's
a
a Republican.
Republican?
He's a
Yeah,
Republican.
yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks the field is wide open, and he also feels like he kind of feels like he has a duty, like to the sane Republicans, to throw his hat in the ring and sort of get this, dumpster fire put out. What do you think,
Yeah.
Lynn?
Yeah, I think that in very quickly here, Trump is probably going to be, if he doesn't know it, then everybody else will know it, that he will be not really a viable candidate, a viable person who can run because of all the stuff that's going on, or he may outright have to be pulled out of the race. I mean, I don't know what happened when it was last week probably when they were saying that he hadn't paid the fees for being a candidate, and so they were gonna they're gonna take him off
Oh
the
my God.
thing. They were gonna take him off the ballot.
He
He's the only
didn't
one
even
on there.
pay the fees to file for president. My God.
No, he didn't
Oh,
finish
I
paying the
missed that
fees.
juicy information.
Yeah, and so he had, he'd already been delinquent on them, and they were saying, so if you don't pay it by thus and such, so even there they were giving him a handout. But here's what I think. I think that Trump will be shown to be a non-appropriate person to be able to even run for president, let alone hold the office. And I also think DeSantis is going to have that same issue pretty
Me too.
quickly here,
Me too.
probably before the summertime or in the summertime. And by the time that happens, that's right around the time that normal people would be declaring. And that's probably when Sununu would throw his hat in. And
Yeah.
his name, for some reason, I feel like is just like floating around the zeitgeist. I do think he's going to be an actual viable person for the Republican candidacy.
I do
Thank goodness. That means that we will be having intelligent people do this again and not just crazy people. So,
Well, he's not too normal. Some people are saying he's a MAGA. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that he is going to run, but I don't see a Republican winning. I don't. You let me know.
no,
I
no,
see
no.
Biden or Kamala Harris winning.
Mhm.
We that it's that kind of really strong energy that I don't get all the time, but when I get it, I pretty much trust it 100%.
Yeah.
So you the same?
Yeah. 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 So, because it is probably going to be another Democratic White House, I don't really, this is awful to say, but I don't care as much about who the Republican person is. Just like, yeah, okay, fine. It's going to be
Yeah.
that guy, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right,
but
right.
the Democratic thing I think is will there be any challengers to Biden? I don't know. I don't know. But I think he'll win. I think he'll be fine. I think physically and everything, I think he'll be fine and he'll win. So, all right. So, another question that we had here from Ron Brock, who sent in a few questions, is any updates on Ukraine starting their offensive soon to kick the Russians out of their
Yes,
country?
yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited because it's really ugly and it's deadly, but I'm excited because a lot of times my predictions, my energy is about 3 months in the future.
Yeah,
So the guides told me it's the planes, right? They're getting fighter jets. They're getting fighter jets now from everybody. I mean, literally, at least 3 countries are giving them fighter jets, which is complicated because some of them are, not they're all different kinds. But anyway, Ukraine is sending fighter pilots to train on those jets at these different countries, including the United States. So that's going to be a big deal. And then there's the Wagner group. And then, do you know that guy's name that starts with a P? Is it Prigozhin?
I don't know.
So there's two people that besides Putin, there's the Wagner, and then I think it's Prigozhin or whatever. One of those groups, and they're mercenaries. And this is how Putin does it. If he's not the one out there committing the crimes and it's a mercenary, then it's hard for the ICC, the International Crime Court, to charge Putin with it because it's not Putin. One of these two people has decided that they're pulling their people out and they're going to go back. Sadly for Africa, they're going to go back to the continent of Africa where they do a lot of this kind of mercenary for hire work. So these mercenaries are not getting paid. They're pulling their troops out. But how do you say his name, Suvi? Prigozhin? Anyway, that's what I get. It's going to turn around, you guys. They're in the mud season now, so it's very hard to traverse. But planes can fly right over the mud, and I see them targeting. They're targeting military installments in Russia, okay, with these planes. So Russia cannot even get their arms, artillery, whatever. They can't get it out. They can't even get it to Ukraine. They're going to make Russia say uncle, in my opinion. And then I see regime change. I don't think it's a good thing. I've said this. The guides have said this for a long time. I see some sort of militaristic person coming in as a leader. And Putin is even saying that publicly. You don't want to get rid of me because you're going to have a general, and then you're going to have way worse. You're not going to have anything you're going to have way worse of a life than I've given you. So anyway, that's okay. I don't care. They can govern themselves. If they want to have a military tribunal ruling them, then that's fine. Just don't mess with any other countries. And that's what I see. And I see Ukraine getting Crimea back, Donetsk back, all the parts of the country that were annexed. I see them getting that back. And I've always said this too. Zelensky will climb and crawl over broken glass all the way to wherever, the far corners of Russia, to get those children back. He will bring those children back. He will never, ever in his entire lifetime stop searching for them.
Yeah, all of those things that you say, it just seems like it's definitely that is the way it's going to happen. The part of the setting up a peace treaty or setting up a terms of surrender for Russia or whatever, that's the part where I don't see clearly how I can't visualize that part. Yeah. I just can't visualize. I know it's going to happen. I know that you're right about Zelensky because he's such a strong person and he's so incensed about all the things that Russia has done to his people. But I just don't see how it comes together that they have some sort of a talk where Russia actually says, yeah, okay, you get to keep Crimea. I just don't see how that's going to happen. But I think it's going to happen. And I think it's it's definitely comes down to Russia saying uncle. I think they will. I think Russian people will be so, or they already are so upset with Putin, but I think they will be so ashamed of Putin trying to do this to a group of people who are basically also Russian. That's like, why would you kill your own people? That's so bad. Just for the real estate. That's just so bad.
You can Google the videos. There's videos of these Russian soldiers saying, we were stuck in a meat grinder and we're all that's left of our entire battalion. And what they do is they bring these things they call backers. So they put troops behind the troops on the front line. And if they try to come back, they shoot them under their feet. And then it's also been alleged which enough people have alleged this, I think is some truth to it, that because a lot of this is being done through these mercenary type, groups, that you pay. If you can pay, then you don't go what's called on the zero line. The zero line is the fodder, the cannon fodder line. If you pay, if you have some money, then you can be a backer. And Ukraine has pictures of some of these Russian soldiers rushing Ukraine positions with shovels, no guns. There's a picture I saw with a stick carved that looked like a gun, a very crude one. So they're just meant to eat up ammunition. It's attrition.
Wow.
They want to have a war of attrition. They feel like they have more ammunition and more people to die than Ukraine can, It's incredibly sad. It's evil. It's evil is what it is.
Yeah. And I think have they come out with more war crimes against Putin?
I haven't heard of any.
They will. They will. I think they're going to have maybe not a huge laundry list, but I think they're going to have another few, 4 or 5 very specific war crimes against Putin that is just going to make the world gasp. I just think it's going to be so sad as it becomes. And maybe that's what causes them to finally stand down too, because if they continue that brutality, then other people in Russia will also be charged with war crimes.
Yeah.
And so somehow that's what I'm seeing, is that somehow that kind of changes the tide, but I don't see in the realm of, force and guns and fighting and war, I don't see how that really actually comes to an end. I see that it does come to an end, but I don't see exactly what the mechanics of it are. But
I agree. Maybe that's not written yet. Maybe how it happens hasn't been decided yet. Everybody still has free will. And I hope that the war crimes, The Hague, I hope they can go after the Wagner group. And I hope they go after this guy, Perotzin, or whatever his name is. They should be tried. We should try them, even if I guess they're not associated with a country, but we need to change. That's something else that we probably need to change, because God bless Africa. Now they're going to double down on the continent of Africa, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Ooh,
I know.
God.
Let's let go of that. Let's move on.
Okay. So
but
here's
it's
one.
Good news. They're going to win. They're going to win.
Yes, 100% they are going to win. All right, so this is from Joe. Do you see any possibilities of the DOJ creating a new Department of National Terrorism Division of DOJ? Because just look at the time and manpower involved in just this fiasco, because magnetism runs deep. I do think that so many things are going to be changed about our government, just like after 9/11. So many things are going to be changed about our government, about the agencies, about the structure of the agencies. I mean, Trump disintegrated so many agencies. He dissolved so much that, Biden probably hasn't even got through half of it yet, rebuilding it. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of a good time to do it, because they're revamping all of this stuff anyway. And they've got such a rich talent pool to pick from. Think of all the people who were let go during Trump's era that could come back and do their work. And have it appreciated, and they'd be very happy to do that. So I think definitely, yes, there will be lots and lots of different little there'll be different ways that they parse it out, because they will finally acknowledge what a threat it is in general, and how the various factions that do this have unique issues and problems that have to be addressed. So I don't think it will be just, it's the Department of Terror, but I do think there'll be lots and lots of little individual pockets of it that use people with very specific talents. So that's what I think.
I agree with you. I don't know if it'll be separate or new, or if they'll just, like you're kind of saying, create little divisions. But yeah, we'll have to, because we have to learn from this. This is our opportunity to learn from it. If we decide to just maybe indict Trump, and maybe we indict some House members, maybe we indict some attorneys, we didn't really fix the problem, so we really do need to kind of shore up our resources for the next, Trump-like energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, now someone else from my channel, and I did not get their name. I'm sorry. Maybe this was another one from Ron Brock. Um, will the lawsuit regarding Texas abortion laws by the 5 women be successful?
I heard yes, and then I heard no. That always so that means that it maybe it gets punted up to the next higher court, or maybe how can it be yes and no? Will it be successful? It sounds like yes, but it's going to be not what people think. It's going to be I don't understand their answer. That's all I can say. It sounds like yes, but there's more complicated something to it than that.
Yeah, I agree that ultimately they will win, but I also feel that I have to close this down here. I also feel that there will be a very high profile case where a woman probably sadly passes because of this law.
Oh,
That's really hard to talk about, but that's what I see. And so that's in the midst of this big lawsuit getting news headlines, that headline is going to come out. And so too late for her and probably many others, right? There's probably many others that it's going to hurt. But in the overall, I think that they will prevail, and that will also help change those laws in Texas. Help. I don't know if it'll be able to, but it'll help. So, okay, what else have we got here? Texas and okay, here's another one from one of my viewers. Texas and Florida legislatures are trying to funnel public education funds to private religious schools. When, how, and will they be stopped? Will feds step in? Do you see relief, improvements, and funding for our teachers in underfunded schools?
Was that nationally, or what was that a question just towards Texas and
Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, or maybe that's part of her name. Maybe it's Texas and Florida. No, I think it's Texas, Tennessee, and Florida are states where they're trying to funnel away public education funds to private religious schools.
they are doing that? I mean, their point is to defund public schools. They everything needs to be profitable, right? So they don't want the government to pay for anything. That's why when you join the army, you have actually contractors serving you food instead of having privates or whoever, army enlisted, in my opinion, should be serving food. We should just keep all of this in the military. We don't need to have civilian contractors out there in the war zone. I don't know how that makes any sense. And then that they're charging the army a bunch of money for that too, right?
Yeah.
It's the same reason why they're going after schools. Now, these charter schools are really big in Texas. If it's a good one, if it's a good, quote unquote, good charter school, you can't even get in. There's a waiting list forever. They just want tax rebates so that people can afford to go to private schools now. So the government funds charter schools in Texas. We actually fund them. We shouldn't be, but we are. And now they want the government to fund private schools that could be religious schools. I mean, guys, we got to put our foot down somewhere. Really and truly, it's like, if we don't, well, I don't know where we're going to end up. But what I see happening is I see the federal government getting involved. I see, after all this hullabaloo with Trump going out, he's going to get indicted. I don't care what anybody says. He's going to get indicted. He's going to be under house arrest and some kind of Gitmo kind of thing. Then some of these House members are going to go down. We're going to have new elections. We're going to get a few more House members. But just the idea that these House members were indicted or had to step down is going to put a chilling effect And
Yeah.
it's like the principal has walked into your classroom and everybody sits up straight. They're gonna find their morals, they're gonna find their ethics, and then we're gonna have bipartisanship, and then we're gonna be able to vote on some federal laws. They're gonna affect the states. What do you think, Colleen?
Yeah, I think very, very similar. I think it's going to take some time, though. I don't see, certainly not this year, I don't
Yeah.
see anything really changing big. In fact, I see them feeling like they've really succeeded this year. Like they're really happy, somebody's making a lot of money, they're feeling very cushy in their role. But I don't think it'll last. I think and that's the thing, is that they're going to make hay while the sun shines. As long as they can keep their con running, they're going to keep it running. And when things start to shift and change, and those, like you said, when those people are brought down for maybe even other things that they've done that are really bad,
Mhm.
that's when I think they're going to sit up and find Jesus and say, "Oh my God, yes, schools, that's really important." So that's what I see happening. But I think for the rest of this year, no, it's going to keep going the way it's going, which is so sad, because we're going to have um, a bunch of kids that really don't know what they should know. They're not going to know civics in the right way. They're not going to understand history in the right way. It's going to affect their language skills. They're not going to know how to talk with other people. So those kids, I think, will find themselves having some real social problems because of this. What about when they go to college? How are they going to talk to other people about anything? They're just going to feel out of touch. So I think there's some huge downsides, aside from just the fact that it's wrong. There's going to be some huge impacts on those children too. So that's what I say.
I agree.
So, okay. So let's see here what else we have. Oh. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. China just brokered a peace deal with Saudi Arabia and Iran, who hated each other. Now Saudi is considering using the yen instead of the dollar. How will this affect the US? That's wild.
I saw this. Some Republicans have been screaming that this is going to devalue the dollar, the dollar's history. It's all over for America. That's just a bunch of bull hockey. China. I'm getting a picture of Biden, but they're showing me Biden, and they're showing me Biden perhaps even flying to Saudi Arabia and meeting face to face with the prince and doing what he does, doing what he does. Say, look, this is why this isn't going to work out for you. And not only that, that's just common sense, right? But not only that, if you do this and you affect my country and if you affect the dollar, this is what we're going to do in response. Biden has an ace up his sleeve that he's been holding on to, that he has not told anybody about. I believe they're telling me this is like he worked out a secret deal with another country to supply us with oil. Biden is so angry with Saudis and with China and with Iran that he would do something crazy. He would even say, we're going on a diet of oil. I'm going to make it so. We're going to tax it. He would do something, even if it was to slow us down, to stop them. Because this is the beginning of the end, right? This is a play for world domination and world power. And he's not going to let it happen. And I see our friends Australia coming in. I see Canada coming in. I just don't think this is going to go anywhere. I mean, what do you get? Do you get that or something different?
I love your big world picture of this. I love that. I just love what you just got. So yeah, I see Biden very sure of himself and going over there. And like I had said, sometime, I can't remember when it was, but anyway, astrologically, over the summer and stuff, Biden is just Mr. Cool. He's just got planets in his back pocket that he's going to be able to pull up. You thought it was cool that he went to Ukraine and nobody knew about it. He's got other stuff up his sleeve, and we're just going to be going. We've got the coolest president in the world. He's so cool. Look at all the things that he did. But I could see him definitely going over there and talking to him. But he is definitely going to pull them back, pull this whole situation back, control it. And I think domestically, I think the effect of this is for the Republicans who they still might be in the House, like your Jim Jordans and your MGTs. They still might be there. And even them, I see kind of sitting up and going, whoa, he did that. Like it'll finally start to get through to them that they are not dealing with an old man. They are dealing with an elder statesman. He is like the primo.
A
He's the
brilliant one.
brilliant and a Scorpio. Like he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's not taking any prisoners. So I see him playing a good game with them and pulling out all the stops for us. But I loved what you said. I think that's just brilliant. I hope all that comes true. What you just said. That's what
And
I'm
I
going
love
for.
that you called him cool, because in my last video, they called him Cool Hand Luke. That's what they called. They kept
Yeah.
calling him Cool Hand Luke, and you're over here using the cool. So you
Yeah.
guys watching this video, when psychics pick up on that energy, you'll often see headlines: Biden's cool hand, or Biden's cool demeanor. You're going to see the word cool with him because it's in his energy. And
Yeah.
that's what he's going to be projecting, is this coolness. Yeah, he's great.
Very
He's
cool.
really, really good.
Very cool. Good question. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for that question. Oh boy. Let's see what else we got here.
People have been asking about Netanyahu. I don't know what all the question is, but if people are worried about him or something, he's another one who wants to be an oligarch, who wants to, he wants to rule the country. He thinks he knows best for everybody, and everybody should just listen to him, and I don't see it going well. Do you see it going well for Netanyahu? Because I don't see him. I almost don't even see him finishing his term.
No, and I don't see. I see him claiming a health problem, but it's not a health problem. I see him.
Right.
I see him a little bit running away from what's going on. I could see him even so. I mean, the image that I get is of him in a 3-piece suit climbing into a hospital bed.
Pulling the covers up.
Like he's really trying to pretend that, it's my heart. It's my heart. I have to step down. It's my heart, So I don't think I can believe he got in there again anyway. I thought that they did not like him in that country, but
this energy, man, it's the energy. And here's another one. I don't think anybody's asked this question. I'm going to preface it by saying that if you guys watch Cash Peters, who's awesome, I guess he did a video where he said we shouldn't be gleeful if Trump gets indicted because that kind of tarnishes our energy. I want to say two things about that. Number one, I'm willing to sit in detention. When I cross over, if I need to sit in detention, I'm going to just take that. I'm going to take the F. Okay. Number two, let's be gleeful for democracy. Let's be gleeful for rule of law. Let's be gleeful for respect. So maybe I won't be gleeful when these people go down. I mean, I'll try not to, but I'll try to pretend like I'm gleeful instead because it's helping America. But so I'm prefacing that by saying, what do you think? Because not people, and no one's talking about this, and this is a little bit touchy, but McConnell, he's still out of commission. And I'm starting to think that he may not come back, or if he does, it's for a short period of time. What do you get?
When he first went down, that is exactly what I said, is that he may not come back. And if he does, it'll just be a short period of time.
Yes.
And I saw something else in a headline, I think it was just today, that he is, dealing with other health issues. Well, what other health issues? We thought he had a fall. And then it was, oh yeah, he also broke his rib and did something to something else. And I'm just thinking, dude, you're 81 years old. Isn't the universe saying, slow down, take a nap? Yeah, like just like,
Leave the Senate. Look, I'll help you understand what the universe is trying to tell you, Mitch.
yes,
Leave
leave the
the Senate.
Senate. Yeah. I mean, he accomplished his lifelong goal. He
He
put
did. Well,
200
he's
federal.
breathing.
Yeah. I mean, he accomplished that. What more does he want? You know, I don't know. Maybe Saturday Night Live is right. Maybe he really is the Grim Reaper.
K Travel Tarot says he's already back as of this morning working from home. We said we see him coming back, but I don't see him lasting long. First of all, he just can't. He doesn't have the life force. His chi is not strong enough. I don't see him. And the Republican Party is sort of like a pack of wolves that if you're sick or dying, they're going to eat you. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And
you can't be weak.
no, you can't be weak. And the thing that's going to be actually wonderful about him finally stepping down is that all that power that he wields now has to get kind of dispersed out into the other humans in the Senate, and they don't know what he knows. Good.
Right.
We don't want anybody there that knows what he knows.
That's right.
Because the stuff that he knows is kind of dastardly. We want,
Right.
let some young whippersnapper come along and
Yeah.
make mistakes.
That's right. That's right. Whoever replaces him is not going to be McConnell. It's going to be better for us.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Even if they're crazy like MTG kind of crazy, we're not going to put talk to us. Can you talk to us briefly about the astrology? Is there this energy of accountability happening right now, or like you're not going to get away with things, or am I wrong?
Well, when Pluto went into Aquarius, that energy really did shift into, okay, now we're going to do what's good for all the people, not just the little pea heads at the top of the pile. So, yes, that is there. Now, Pluto is going to go retrograde and dip very, very slightly back into Capricorn in mid-June. And when it does, that gives us I think it's about 6 months where it's time. It's kind of like when you do Mercury retrograde. It's going to be retrograde, and it's going to wrap up a bunch of other stuff that it had touched previously and maybe not finished, like lawsuits with Trump, like, lawsuits with, all the other yahoos that should have gone to jail, that got pardons or just skated out of it or something. So it'll wrap up a bunch of that stuff. But then it'll go back into Aquarius, has one more retrograde, and then finally at the end of 2024, it'll really stay there. So what we'll see in these next 18 months is we will see a lot of cleaning up of loose ends, of big loose ends, like cleaning up a lot of big loose ends. Things like the war in Ukraine is going to be wrapped up. It's going to be cleaned up. It's going to be tied up in a bow, and then they can start rebuilding their country. And then, Zelensky will become the master of the world stage because that's what he's going to do for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
But for us in this country, it's also going to change a lot of things in our government. A lot of things are going to change. The way people are elected, the vetting that they go through, the laws that we have about elections. I mean, I think we are looking at 5 to 10 years of just rewriting everything, including amendments to the Constitution. I just think, because that's what Pluto and Aquarius is going to do. It's going to bring all that energy of the beginning of our country back to us. So Pluto is in Aquarius for 20 years, guys. So that's what it's going to do.
When it goes into retrograde in June and then it comes back out, you said 6 months. So when does it come back out again?
I think it's in October. So from
that
June
makes so much sense.
I think,
That's
yeah,
what the
it's not
guides
quite
told
6
me.
months, and then it's gonna be there for a while and make it maybe back into Aquarius, and then it goes retrograde again, and then
Okay.
so it
That's
does this,
okay.
like,
That's
it does this dance back and forth. But you also have Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is in Pisces is a very interesting place for it to be, because Saturn is about structure and Pisces is about dissolving structures. So a lot of things are going to get let go and dissolved, a
right.
lot of stuff. So as those things are let go and dissolved, then what the Pisces energy will use Saturn for is to reconstruct them in a more practical way, in a way that is more concerned with serving the people, the masses. Pisces, Aquarius is about the people, and it's about the masses and the good, the benefit for all humanity. But Pisces is about the masses in terms of compassion, like
Oh,
Kuan Yin kind
thank
of
God.
compassion. Yeah. So Saturn in Pisces is really going to help with all the iniquities that have found people where, why in this country do people not have enough food to eat? That's just cuckoo.
And those
Like,
kids that can't get free lunches. Who
yeah.
I have a friend of a friend who's against free lunches. I almost lost, you know,
I had a friend years ago who didn't think she should pay taxes because they went to the schools and she didn't have
no,
kids.
she didn't have
Why
kids.
should she
I
pay
know,
taxes?
and the
I'm just
same
like,
thing. Yeah,
do you
it's like,
want the world to go to
yeah,
hell in a
yeah,
handbasket? You
yeah.
want your kids to have a good
Well,
education, and
we'll send you to a little island where you can be
yeah,
by yourself and your taxes can go to pay for your little you and your, you know what I mean? Um,
yes.
but that's the thing. We by the guides are saying by in the last 20 years, we've gotten rid of art in schools. We're not
Yeah.
supporting the humanities in schools. So kids grow up just not having that humanity in their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just want to go to STEM. Let me learn math. Let me excel. And no one's teaching them about compassion and how you can be lifted up by a song or a play. That's what's missing, truly,
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
world right now, I think.
I think so too. And I think that social media is filling that void with whatever social media wants to put out there.
Yeah,
So that's where people are getting their music. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know about I can't even think of anybody who's new. Rihanna, you know about Rihanna, but you don't know about Aaron Copland's,
yeah. That's true.
music.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know, you don't know about Bela Bartok, and you don't
Right.
know about Haydn, and you don't know about the classical writers, and not even the old guys. You don't know about Leonard Bernstein. You don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about Stephen Sondheim. You don't know about these people who are just amazing musical, very prodigious musical artists who have given us so much. And that's sad, because that is the compassion. That is your heart. That's really sad.
and artists always help us make sense of things, right? I mean, artists help us
Yeah.
make sense of grief, of joy. Artists have made help us make sense of wars, and this goes all the way back to the beginning of time when we used music. We started using music, but you know what? I think that I'll tell you the positive I see though are these kids, these star kids, crystal kids, whatever you want to call them, indigo children. I don't care, they don't see race. They're just not into that, the money or the violence. They're just not. And I think that's going to help us. They're here to show us the compassion, and hopefully they will be tuned into Shakespeare, or they will be tuned into Haydn, or they'll just be tuned into a bigger, you know, grasp of the humanities.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, I do think it's going to be a very small portion of the population that gets denied these things, like in Florida and Texas and Tennessee. I don't think it's going to be a huge portion of the population, but I just feel bad for them. And I do think that the kids even those who are coming of age now, um, you know, they have such an interesting worldview
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it does matter what they get in their education, but in many ways it doesn't matter because they're already here to teach us.
That's
You
right.
know, they're already here to teach us. It's
And
crazy.
they're on the internet, and they're not going to read the book anyway. Heck, they're probably going to be using that chat. What is that chat? The
Yeah, GPT.
GPT. They're going to be
Yeah.
using that to write their papers and do their art projects anyway. And there's some professors that are actually embracing that. So things are changing quickly. We just kind of have to hold on.
Yeah.
All I want, and I can handle that, even though I was a photographer for many decades. I can get my head around that. I just draw the line at violence. We've got to do something about the violence.
Yeah, I think so too. And I do think that their worldview, those younger star seeds and indigo children, rainbow children, I think their attitude is to prevent war and violence
Violence, yeah.
because so many of them have been victims or witnesses of school shootings and just shootings in general because there's just so damn much of it. What is Wow, that is but, that's what the astrology said too, is that this period of time, especially March and April, there will be there will be more violence because it's we thought it was coming to a head all these last 6 years. It's actually coming to a pinnacle head now for because people don't accept things the first time, right? There's a process, there's an organic process of people understanding difficult concepts and especially things they don't agree with. It's very difficult for them, and now they've been exposed maybe enough times that they'll begin to see how wrong some of this thinking is and how much damage the verbiage does, how much damage. Like Trump will never get that, but he's in his 70s, almost 80. So, hopefully he won't be influencing that many more people. But, I don't know. It's sad. It's very sad.
It's sad. But I think the divine feminine, I see women stepping up to say, okay, we've had it. If no one else is going to throw their selves forward, even in a protest or even in front of a gun, the women are going to do it. Look at Iran. Look at all the major protests there that the women and now men are doing together. I really think this attack on the women is gonna spur women to lead some of this. I really do. I see that. I see women leading this going forward.
Yeah, well, I think the divine feminine has been rising for the last few years, and while it's she's subtle. She's not, she doesn't come out and do things with big parades and tanks, she does things with flowers and water and groups of children, but she is strong nevertheless, and I think that the it's obvious that the female energy is rising all over the world and that women are really, really strong. I mean, you wait, in 2024 there are going to be so many women running for office. It's just going to blow everybody away. But she's a woman. Yeah, and
And did you see Biden when he was addressing the Canadian government? And he was in there, I don't know what it's called, but like our House of Representatives.
yeah.
And he said, congratulations, you have 50% women. We have 50% women. That's great for women everywhere. And one side stood up and Biden said, hey, even if you are conservative, we understand, but you should stand up for women. He basically challenged them and they stood up.
Oh.
This is the Biden thing. Remember when he did it during his address, his
Yes.
address to the union. He
Yeah.
said, "Oh, so you guys don't support Social Security?" And he literally got them to stand up to say that they would support it. He he means business, you guys. He's even doing it in Canada.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, man, him and his aviator glasses, he's going to change the world. He's going
Him
to
and
change the world.
Zelensky. Him and Zelensky. It's interesting. Him and Zelensky seem linked energetically, and Putin and Donald
Yes.
seem linked
Yes.
in
That's
energetically.
very, very true. Oh,
And that's
I
you
should look
should
at
look
those
at that because
pairings.
that's so
Yeah.
weird. Why is that? Like
Yeah.
I've often wondered, why are they linked? It's almost like good against evil, truly.
Yeah. Yeah, really. It is. I will look at that because I've looked at both. I've looked at all four of those charts. I've looked at Biden and Zelensky. I can definitely see how they're linked. They're like brothers from another mother. They're
Oh,
definitely
nice.
linked. Yeah, very much linked. Putin and Donald, I was a little slow to the party getting the drift that they were karmically linked. That took me a while to accept just because I just didn't want to look at their charts anymore.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you
Okay,
at
I'm
all.
done with that. But I will look at those. I think that's a good thing to bring up in the future. I think that'd be a really good reading to do. Oh my gosh. Well, my friend, we've been on for a little more than an hour. And I think let's see if we have any last minute questions here. Let me just go down to the end and work my way up here. Da, 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 da.
I hope you guys are enjoying this political chat. We're just hanging out and chatting. Let us know in the chat if you think this is a interesting format. Oh my God, I love that. Freda, men in Iran are wearing hijabs to support women. I love that.
Oh, that's
I love
awesome.
that. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Now, of course, somebody also mentioned Iran labeled Iran made drone struck a Syrian outpost where the United States has soldiers, and one contractor was killed, and soldiers were hurt. And I think it's interesting. All these Republicans are like, "What are we doing in Syria? What are we doing in Syria? Trump took everybody out of Syria." Well, you know where we are. We're on an oil field, Conoco. Of course, we're there protecting oil, right?
Yeah.
I think this needs to be a conversation among the American people. Do we really want our service personnel over there protecting a corporation's oil? What are we getting out of it? What's America getting
Yeah.
out of it? We should
Yeah.
be getting a better deal with the gas prices. I mean, we should get something out of it, right? Or maybe we shouldn't be doing it. I'm just saying it's a conversation we need to be having. Now, of course, so we struck Iran. And this has been going on. This is not new. So don't think that this is like some acceleration. Apparently, this has been going on for quite some time. That this back and forth between Iran and Syria with us being involved, has been going on for a
Yeah.
long time.
A
So
long time. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't have anything to say about that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Oh, I'm just looking for other uh
Anybody have a quick question we can answer? Throw it in the chat.
yeah, here we go. Here's
Oh
one.
yeah, here's one. Hurricane Force One. I like this one too.
Oh,
Uh,
what is that? Her
MTG went to the jail to visit her future digs. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene went to visit the insurrectionists who are being held in a nicer part of the DC jails, and a Democrat went with them just to be like the real truth.
2. 2
Oh, two,
Democrats.
two
Uh-huh.
went with them just
Yes.
and I think that's a change for Democrats. That is a change for Democrats. They're not going to let Republicans just have the narrative and make up the stories. They're going to be there witnessing with their
That's right.
own, eyes, what's going on. But I got the same thing. I literally heard the same thing. Like, what is it when you're a crime, like a serial killer, and you keep going back to the scene of the crime? I kind of feel like she's attracted to where these people are being held because she knows that she's going. I that's her fear. This is why she's trying to. And plus, they're showing me that she could put this out to her followers and say, "Send me some money because I'm going to support these guys." We know she's not going to. We know she's not going to if she does that. But for
Yeah.
entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Yeah, I think MTG is just learning the art of the grift and part of that art is to capitalize on every situation so that you make money. And
Yeah.
she's learning at the feet of the master.
Yes.
So, right.
And I think she's going to go down. Don't you see her going down?
I do. I see her having a pretty ignominious fall. I mean,
Ignominious.
Ignominious. I think that
Right.
she won't be able to pronounce that word, but that's okay because she often trips on her words. She's one that she's
Oh my
so
god.
anxious to get all of this stuff out that she
Oh
doesn't
my
stop
god.
to connect her mouth to her brain. It just, she just stumbles over all of it. But that last interview that they got her on with the guy whistling in the background,
I know. Oh my god.
priceless,
That was
priceless.
fantastic. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. It totally ruined the audio. So, it didn't ruin it, but it was distracting. And did
Oh,
you
what?
see that panel truck they had with the TV screens? They had a
No,
panel truck
no.
with live TV screens like you would see in like Vegas, uh, basically showing pictures of the insurrection. So they trolled her.
Good.
They trolled her big time. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And did you see the guy who interviewed, well, the guy from, is it I want to say Jason Klepper from the Daily Show went out to interview people in New York who had shown up to support Trump in case he was going to get indicted on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And he found one guy who was dressed, not like politically or anything. He was just, dressed for the cold. And he sat down with him and he talked to him, and it was very funny. It was very funny. The guy was like, after a while, the guy was like, I don't need you here. Yes, I'm supporting Donald Trump, but I don't need you here. You don't, I don't need this. Go away. And Jason Klepper was, well, but I just want to get your view. I don't need you. No, go away. Like, the guy just like didn't get what was going on.
Oh
So
my god, that is
that's pretty funny.
hilarious. If they found
Yeah.
one. People are reporting in the chat that it's not going well in Waco, that there's not a big crowd in Waco.
Oh,
I
gee, what a
I mean,
surprise.
this is why you see Trump doing more and more bizarre and violent things. You saw him with the baseball bat, right?
Yeah.
And I, I I guess we could wrap it up, but do you this is difficult because I can't get a good handle on it, but do you see him actually getting a gag order, actually being gagged?
I I do. I do think they're going to have to do that because he's too dangerous. Even if they sneak people in by the back door and have an anonymous jury, and even if they slide him in the side door, he's just, if they don't tell him to shut it, he's going to create riots. Even
Mhm.
if they're, because now we may not be getting a lot of magas about the indictment, but for the court case, they probably would have more people who are interested. But you're also going to get people who are opposed to him coming too. So he's creating this,
Yeah.
this bad energy, this
Mhm.
pro and con back and forth. Ugh, yeah, I think they're going to have to. I know they're talking about it. I know they're talking about it.
I just don't know. I know I know they have to, but I'm just not sure how Bragg or Willis is going to parse this. They're terrified, this is good. Maybe they let him have his Waco um, you know, surprise of nothing so that they could see, it's almost like the DOJ and everybody in concern is watching to say, okay, he's not turning out the people. We don't have to worry about these riots like
Oh,
we thought we did. What they have to worry about are the pop-offs, the bomb threats, the white powder, the
yeah,
stuff like that. So I think it's going to be more lone wolf kind of people than
yeah,
groups. I do think the groups will be the groups that are already formed that we already know about, that are the Nazi kind of groups. But a lot of the militia members are in jail or are
yes.
currently in trial. So
Yeah, and
I
this
think
is this is
hopefully
what they were talking about in the news too, is that a lot of them, there's 1,000 resurrectionists or insurrectionists already in jail. 1,000. That's a lot of
thousand.
people. A
See, and
thousand.
I think that's why they drew this out. Besides the fact that it's just good law work, you need to take time. But if they had done this in 2021 or 2022, we would have had a civil war. We would
Yeah.
have had a much different experience. And instead, what we have is I see Biden bringing this recession down to a soft landing. I see everybody gonna, for the most part, enjoy their summer. For the most part, gonna enjoy their summer. And look, if all these hotheads are enjoying themselves and going to their barbecue and going to their, whatever it is, their concert or their drag races or their hunting or whatever it is, then they're living their life. They're not going to be agitated to want and fight.
Right.
So this is a good environment to bring those charges, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're right. Something else they were saying on the news is that, a lot of the people who haven't been arrested are still looking over their shoulder, wondering if their picture was taken, wondering if they're going to get called in next. And so they don't want to go and protest
That's
for
right.
him or fight for him because they don't want to go to jail. And they saw that he did not do anything for the people who were arrested. He did not go down even to the Senate or the Congress with them. He completely abandoned them. Now that was because of the CIA, but they didn't care. I mean, they just felt abandoned. So, but I think you're right. The lone wolf is what, and they were mentioning that too, that it's not for domestic terrorism going forward. It's not so much that they have to worry about huge mobs of people because the group are now identified in social media and just out in the world. It's the lone wolves. It's the ones that you really don't know.
It's so interesting that you bring that up because apparently some dummy who was at Jan 6 showed up in New York at one of Trump's, protests, and they arrested him. They ID'd him, and they had been looking for this big dummy, and they were like, there he is. Yep, yeah, that's him. Let's get him. So you're right. You're absolutely right. If you're dumb enough to show your face, then you're likely to get arrested because the FBI has all this facial recognition software everywhere.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I think they will have to gag him though, just on the chance that some lone wolf does something cuckoo, you just don't know.
If they gag him, they're going to have to put him in that little Gitmo thing that I see. It's like a house arrest with Gitmo kind of security where his aides that come and take care of him are patted down. I mean, seriously, like Gitmo, like for real secure.
Yeah.
Because how else can you gag him? I mean, he won't listen to any
I
law,
mean,
to
look
any
at
court order.
even Roger Stone with the gag order still went against it. So, Trump definitely would go against it. But they also were saying that, and this was just attorneys hypothesizing on the news, that because of Trump's actions in social media this last week or so, that's new charges on him. Getting new and I think we had said that in some of the shows that we were doing that they're going to charge him with all of this stuff because you can't do that. It's tantamount to witness tampering. It's threatening everybody, and you can't do that.
You can't
so
do that.
so really not cool.
He has a world of hurt. He has a world of hurt coming down on him. And he just did this video where he said this weird thing where he's talking about, I'm the one that removed farm taxes. So if you sell your farm, you can get, or you die, you can give your farm to your kids without taxes. And he said, but some people may not want to give their property or their inheritance to their kids because they don't agree with their kids. And therefore, he just went on and on about how people aren't going to want to give. We're all like, oh, really? Who are you talking about, Don?
Don, Ivanka, any of his kids who have recently testified against him. Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
No more inheritance for you. What's going to be left? Honestly, truly, what is going to be left? Nothing. I don't think he's going to have. I don't think he has much anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I don't either. I was looking for some last questions, but I don't see.
Yeah, put him in a psych ward. That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah. Well, he may want to put himself in a psych ward. He may he
He
may
might.
use that as a diversion to not have to go to court. So,
Like
oh,
what you
Cheryl
were saying
Clark,
about
thank
Netanyahu.
you. Oh, I'm going to put this up. We should end with this. The prayers for Mississippi and Alabama and those
I'm so
tornadoes.
glad you did that. I
Oh,
would have the
thank
exact
you.
same thought.
Yeah,
And I
thank
didn't
you,
see
Cheryl,
this.
so much. Let's just take a moment and just send really healing, calm energy to them. Oh,
It's devastating. I haven't seen
yeah.
but this much of it, but just now going into that energy was devastating.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
Thank
really,
you, Cheryl,
yeah,
and just
thank you so
if you
much.
can't watch it, don't watch it, guys. We don't need anything else to drag our energy down. You can send them love and light. And the fact that your energy isn't down around your ankles will actually make the energy you send out stronger. So it's better if you don't watch all this negativity. It's better if you just kind of feed yourself some positivity and then send those prayers out.
Yeah, and just, if you can, whatever places that are reputable that you can donate for helping
Yeah.
for them, do that instead of watching the news. Because, you see that it's a natural disaster. Do you really have to be a looky-loo and look at it? No, you just have to try to send love. And if you can, send some money. That always helps.
And the chocolate factory, apparently there was an
Oh,
explosion at the chocolate factory. So yeah, send love to everybody. Um, and then maybe the last question, Don Jr., and then we'll leave because you got to get out of here and I got to get out of here maybe 3 more minutes.
where's
Somebody
that?
wants to know about Don Jr. Please read on Don Jr. It just says Spirit Animal 1212 says read on Don Jr. Um,
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
in
let's
trouble.
do it.
He right now I'm going into his energy, and you know what? His stomach is killing him. He has real turmoil in his digestive system. Like he's eating Tums like by the truckload. Um, he feels he's a very angry energy, uh, but he feels anger. He feels cornered. He's saying it's unfair. Of course, that's true. Did you ever see him go into jail?
Actually, yes.
I'll go with you then. Yes.
Because I think here's the thing. I think that if they had all stuck together, I think then they would have had a chance to at least maybe not Big Don, but everybody else. I think would have had a chance to be able to escape, say, to like Saudi Arabia, some Middle Eastern country. I think they definitely would have been able to do that. But Ivanka separated herself from everybody else and has said, "Look, I'm not that." And obviously, she's turned on them completely and is, testifying in against them. And so, I don't think Don and Eric or Big Don have a chance. And yeah, the cards are just like, no, no, that's he's definitely going to be found guilty of numerous crimes, and if not for the Trump organization, then for his dealings with his father's campaign. I don't see anything real happy for him in the future.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they're going to have to do some. The best case would be jail. Okay, the best case is jail. I'm not sure if they get jail or if they get some kind of probation or something. I've often seen those boys going not to Saudi but to one of those stand countries, Uzbekistan, one of those stand countries where there's a lot of grift to be had. There's going to be a lot after Ukraine gets settled. Those countries are going to be free of Russia's intimidation, and you're going to start seeing real investment in those countries. And so those boys are going to open up all kinds of things in those countries. Like I think some mining operations and some agriculture and some, and even some other types of vacation luxury in others. So it's going to be the Wild West. Those countries are going to be the new Wild West, where money will flow quickly, and so that's kind of where I feel like they might go.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, there is going to be quite a bit of interesting commerce and activity going on in that part of the world, especially once Ukraine actually gets rebuilt, which could take several years. But then all of those other countries around there, especially the small ones, just don't have what Ukraine has. And so the oligarchs are going to fight like mad to control them, I feel. And yeah, you're right. Wild West indeed. But I do see that Ukraine will become the hub of Europe,
Me too.
just as Paris has been the hub of
Yes,
Europe. It's
me
going to be
too.
Ukraine because
Me too.
everything that they build will be well thought out. And Zelensky, I'm telling you, man, Zelensky is the man of the future. He is the leader of the future, and Europe will look to him many, many times to say, "What do we do now?" And he'll say, "You do this."
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just like knows. He just like
Yeah.
knows what they should do.
Yeah.
So,
I saw the same thing. I love that. I saw all these glass buildings going up. I saw
yes, glass.
architects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw architects donating their services. I saw, now, of course, China. The interesting thing, I had said months and months ago that China was going to want to get in on that to
Yeah.
supply building materials, but I don't think Zelensky's too fond of China. So I think Zelensky would just as soon hire United States. Zelensky's going to go to Australia, United States, Canada. He's going to go to the people that helped him, and he's going to say, "We want contracts with you."
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so sorry, Xi. Hmm.
Sorry, another blow. Xi is not going to be doing well. China's not going to be doing well. Russia's not going to be doing well. And I do see that. I see Ukraine. Well, they always said it would rise up like a phoenix out of the ashes. They always said that. But here's another thing that I find hard to believe. But they're telling me that it's going to be the economic center, like Davos, Switzerland, but it's going to
Yeah.
be in Ukraine, which I don't even understand. But maybe
I
maybe
tell you
that's
how they're gonna do it. I tell you how they're gonna do it.
oh, okay, good.
They already are known to have rich mineral resources in those mountains. But there is some sort of a mineral or maybe a couple of different um, elements or minerals or something that are in those mountains that they don't even let anybody know about. And it's that is going to become, it's either
Ah,
going to be a fuel source or something
okay.
for computers and technology or some, but they have some like secret thing that they've been keeping from the world. And Zelensky knows this, which is why the mountains are so important to him. And once they're settled and they're able to bring this out, because he wants the Ukrainian people to benefit from the sourcing of
Absolutely.
that. He does not
Absolutely.
want somebody to come in and take it from them.
Ah,
So he's working on 50 layers of chess. I mean,
yeah.
this guy is
Yes.
thinking about everything. So that is part of what is going to make Ukraine such a hub of Europe, not only
Wow.
beautiful architecture, but monetarily, culturally. I mean, it's really going to be big that Ukraine is going to be the major destination when people go to Europe. That's where they're going to go. We're going to
I'm gonna
Ukraine.
go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And I've said this before. I'm not particularly a hugger. I'm gonna hug every one of those people. I'm gonna hug
Yeah,
every single one of them. I'm gonna hug them all. I'm gonna. I just have so much heart for them, and God bless them for what they've been through, because their country is literally been demolished. There's
yeah,
just nothing left. Um,
yeah.
but they will get a new country, and they will rise up. They will show
Yep.
us. They will show us democracy matters. They will show us what compassion and heart. They have a heart for their country and their culture.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, absolutely. They're so strong and they're gonna overcome this and they're gonna rebuild. It's gonna be beautiful.
It really
Wow.
is.
All right.
Thanks,
So,
everybody.
yes, thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you for all of your questions. My questions were a little lame, but they kind of dovetailed with your questions, so that was good.
Oh, no,
Susan,
they were them.
I hope your viewers enjoyed seeing this on your channel. That's very cool. Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, for everything. I hope the viewers that saw it on my channel enjoyed it as well. And thank you so much. I saw a few of you actually did subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you
You
very
can
much.
see Colleen brings it, guys. That's why I like being on here. She's smart. She's psychic. She's got the astrology. She's got the tarot. It's a good, I just like the way we go. I just feel like our energies match really well. So check
Yeah.
out her channel. She does some really great things there.
Thank you so much. And
I
we'll
know.
have,
I'm sorry the chat isn't merged. I don't know about that. You know, we're
we're
just
working
trying
on
this
it.
out. We'll see what happens. You guys, a lot of readers will be doing this. You guys weigh in. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. And if you don't want us to do it this way, we won't. But it's just a way for us to kind of share it on both platforms instead of on one or the other. Thank you so much for hosting me, Colleen.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for not believing the post that said 9 o'clock. And
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
I'm sorry, guys. That was totally my fault. I'm trying to do too much. I work full time and I do this and I do a million things. And it was my week for getting, well, it's like my 2 weeks of getting everything ready for April's astrology. And I just goofed up on my post. So I'm so sorry. But thank you all for being here. And for those of you who didn't make it, I guess they'll see it at 9 o'clock on the replay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, Susan.
Thank
And
you, dear.
we'll
Much
see you
love to
guys
everybody.
soon.
Take good care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.